Hello everybody, and welcome to How to Never Lose in the Forex Market Again. This is an introduction to my mathematical method for eliminating monthly net losses in your Forex game. See, the truth is that many people lose in the Forex market. The failure rate is 90% to 95%. Those are the figures out there. And the chances are that you will fall within that 95 to 90% of total people who lose if you do not have a reliable tool to guide you along your way. So whereas many people charge a lot for courses that can help you, you are going to learn exactly how to eliminate monthly net losses in your Forex game for free. That is what this whole presentation is about. So I would like you to pay rapt attention and take away all distractions. For example, you may put off your phone or turn off notifications, and if you need to take a pen and paper up, you can do that so you can take notes, because I'm going to break down to you how you'll never have a negative month in your Forex game again. You have to remember that maths cannot lie. It's mathematical, and it's all about numbers, and so that is just exactly what you're going to have in the following presentation. Now, the beginning part of this presentation is going to contain things that people who are not used to the Forex market need to know before they get into the system. But if you already understand the concept of pips and lot sizes and all of that, then you don't need to watch everything at this beginning part. You can just skip forward until the part where we get to the actual system that gives you the monthly profit. And I'm going to put a note on the website, below the video, where exactly in the timeline you can find the real meat of this video. That is the beginning of the actual system. For the rest of you, you can continue listening as I break down how to mathematically eliminate monthly net losses in your Forex game. So for us to continue, and if we have to understand this, we have to understand the concept of lot sizes. The lot size actually refers to the what would I say now? The amount of stake you're putting into your trade, the weight of the stake, or the volume of the stake you're putting into your trade. Imagine you are in a casino and you want to, stake, you want to bet. If you're betting $10, you're not going to earn so much. But if you're staking, say, $100,000 or $1 million, then you stand to win a whole lot if you win. But conversely, you stand to lose a whole lot more if you stake a whole lot more. So that's the way it works. You use small lot sizes and you stand to gain little if you are right in your trade, but you also stand to lose little if you're wrong. And then if you stake big amounts, you win big, but when the losses come, you also lose very big. So lot sizes refer to how much you stake and they determine how much you lose. It refers to how much you stake. It will determine how much you gain and how much you lose. Now, lot sizes can be broken down. There's a way they're broken down mathematically when we use them in the Forex market. One lot size is referred to as one standard lot. One lot is referred to as one standard lot. That's what it's referred to. So when somebody says one lot, they really mean one standard lot, and vice versa. But you will hear people say one lot because they don't want to have to say a mouthful when they're referring to one lot. So one lot is the same thing as one standard lot. So one lot can be broken down into 10 parts, and it means that one lot is made up of 10 mini lots. So what it means is that if you divide one lot by 10, you have 1 mini lot. So 0.1 lot is 1 mini lot. 1 mini lot is 0.1 lot. 2 mini lots is 0.2 lots. 3 mini lots is 0.3 lots. 4 mini lots, 0.4 lots, all the way to 9 mini lots, which is equivalent to 0.9 of a standard lot. And of course, 10 mini lots is equivalent to 1 full lot. So that's the breakdown of the lot, the standard lot. And as a matter of fact, 1 mini lot can further be broken down into micro lots. So if you divide 1 mini lot by 10, you have 1 micro lot, which means that 1 micro lot is equal to 0.1 of a mini lot. 2 micro lots is equal to 0.2 mini lots. 3 micro lots is equal to 0.3 of 1 mini lot. 4 micro lots is equal to 0.4 mini lots, and 9 micro lots is equal to 0.9 mini lots. Apparently 10 micro lots is equivalent to 1 full mini lot. So that's it. Now I'd like you to understand the financial implication of these lot sizes when you trade. Typically, when you trade with one standard lot, when your stake is one standard lot, when price moves 1 pip in the direction you have said price is going to go, you earn $10. If price moves let's stick to 1 pip for now, because that's the basic, that's the smallest amount of movement that we're expecting. Is a standard measure of movement. So let's stick to 1 pip. So if you're trading with 1 full lot, 1 standard lot, you stand to gain or lose $10 per movement in price. That is $10 per pip movement in price, and we'll get to that, so what 1 pip is. But if you are trading with 2 lots, you stand to gain $20 or to lose $20 per pip movement in price. So because 1 mini lot is 1/10 of 1 lot, what you stand to gain or lose when you're using 1 mini lot is just $1 per pip. A lot smaller than what you stand to gain or lose when you're trading 1 full lot. And if you're trading 2 mini lots, you stand to gain or lose only $2 per pip, because 2 mini lots is 0.2 of 1 lot. If you're trading 3 mini lots, you stand to gain or lose just $3 per pip, because 3 mini lots is 0.3 of 1 lot. And with 4 mini lots, you stand to gain or lose only $4 per pip, because 4 mini lots is 0.4 of 1 lot. The same thing with 9 mini lots. You stand to gain or lose $9 per pip, because 9 mini lots is 0.9 of 1 full lot. Of course, if you're trading 10 mini lots, it means you're trading 1 standard lot, which means you stand to gain or lose $10 per pip. So that is how it works when you are staking or trading. When you trade, you use lot sizes. The lot size determines or at least specifies the volume that you're staking, how much you're staking in that very trade, and that determines how much you're going to earn or possibly lose. So let's look at the money implication of the micro lots, because we've seen the money implication of the mini lots and the standard lots in this chart. Standard lots here, mini lots down here. So let's see the money implication of trading micro lots. Because 1 micro lot is 0.1 of 1 mini lot, and 1 mini lot represents the possibility for profit or loss of just $1 per pip. Because of that, 1 micro lot, which is 1/10 of 1 mini lot, represents $0.1 in potential profit or potential loss per pip, which is 10 cents. And because 2 microlots is equal to 0.2 of 1 millilot, 2 microlots represents 0.2 of what 1 millilot represents, which is just 20 cents, $0.2. And so the same calculation goes all the way down here, where we have 9 microlots representing a potential profit or loss of $0.9 per pip. And then if you're trading 10 microlots, it means that you're trading 1 millilot actually. And so your potential for profit or loss per pip in any trade you're using 1 millilot in is just $1 per pip. So when you're trading one standard lot, you stand to gain or lose $10 per pip. When you're trading 1 mini lot, you stand to gain or lose $1 per pip. But if you're trading 1 micro lot, you stand to gain or lose 10 cents per pip. I think it's understood. And it's because 1 mini lot is 1/10 of 1 standard lot, and 1 micro lot is 1/10 of 1 mini lot. So now there's a way we express lot sizes. In these past few slides, I expressed them in as fractions of the standard lot and of the mini lot, but in reality we do not express it exactly like I did. If you observe here, everything here is expressed as either one lot or a fraction of one lot. Either one lot or a fraction of one lot. But over here, sorry, I think I'm mixing up the slides. Cool. But over here, 1 micro lot is expressed as a fraction of 1 mini lot. And now that is what is not really done. When we are expressing lot sizes, everything is expressed as a fraction of 1 standard lot. So what we have is that we're not going to have micro lots. We're not going to have micro lots expressed as a fraction of mini lots. Micro lots are not expressed as a fraction of mini lots. Everything is expressed as a fraction of the standard lot. So, excuse me, what we have is that 1 lot is equal to 1 standard lot, 2 lots is equal to 2 standard lots, 3 lots is equal to 3 standard lots, but 1 mini lot is 0.1 of a standard lot. 3 mini lots is 0.3 of a standard lot. Now 1 micro lot is 0.01 of a standard lot. It's expressed as a fraction of the standard lot. It is 0.01 of 1 standard lot because it is 0.1 of the mini lot, which is 0.1 of 1 standard lot. So that is something that you have to know. You cannot express the micro lot in any way other than as a fraction of the standard lot. And so that's how it is. As you can see here, 3 micro lots is 0.03 of a standard lot, and so on and so forth. The bottom line is everything is expressed as a fraction of the standard lot or in standard lots. So now let's look at the concept of the pip. I mentioned the pip before, and where did I mention it? I mentioned it when I was looking at the money implication of trading different lot sizes. I said, okay, when you're trading 1 standard lot, you stand to gain $10 per pip. when you're trading one mini lot, you stand to gain or lose $1 per pip, and so on and so forth. So what is the pip? Now, to understand that better, let's go straight to the charts. So we have to come straight to the charts to fully understand what a pip is. And this is the British pound versus the USD pair. That's what we have here. And I'm going to turn these candlesticks into a line graph. I already did that before starting this part of the video. I want to do it again so you can have the benefit of seeing how that is done. So I've done that now, and if you look at this closely, you will see that you'll observe that this is simply, all you're seeing here is simply a representation of what price is doing over time, because on the horizontal axis, if you observe closely, you see that it's the progression of time, and on the vertical axis you see that the calibration you see here is just price. So if we follow price over the progression of time, at the far end of this crosshair is marked what price is, what the exchange rate is at each point in time, so that we can see what price is doing at each point in time over time. So that is just what this chart is all about. So the tool I'm using is the crosshair, and it helps us to mark, to see exactly what price is at each point in time. If you follow this crosshair all the way to the right, you're going to see a value. If you just follow it with your eyes all the way to the far right, the value you can see there is 1.26053. And if you follow it all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see that the time at this very point where that crosshair is, where the intersection is, the time is 1300 hours. That is 2018 12/11 1300 hours. In other words, the 11th day of December 2018 by 1300 hours. What it means is that at that exact hour, the exchange rate was 1.26053. That's what it means. And it was 1.26053 what? It was $1.26053. It means that at that point in time, it cost $1.26053 to buy 1 British pound. And how do we know this? It is because down here in this currency pair, the way it is quoted, currency pairs always come in pairs. That's why they're called currency pairs. The currencies always come in pairs. So the way it is displayed here is the British pound comes first, the USD comes second. So the currency pair that comes second in the rendition is the quoted pair. Is always the quoted pair. So we know that it is the USD that is the quoted pair. Sorry, I say quoted pair, I mean it's the quoted currency. It's a quoted currency, not a quoted pair. You see, so we know that it is saying, hey, this amount of dollars is what you could buy 1 British pound with. So having said that, now what is the pip? Now let us put our cursor right here. You can see that this is 14th of December 2018, 00 hours, is midnight. And if you follow the crosshair all the way to the right, far right, you can see that the value there is 1.2656. Let me make a note of that. 1.2656, and we ignore the final digits. We only stick to the first 4 digits after the decimal point. Now, if price moves from 1.2656 to 1.2654, it will be said that price has moved 2 pips. If it moves from 1.2656 to 1.2655, it will be said that price has moved 1 pip downward. In the same vein, if it moves from 1.2656 to 1.2657, it will be said to have moved 1 pip upward. But what if it moves 1.2656 to 1.2659? It will be said to have moved 3 pips upward. So, what then is the pip? One pip is a change in the exchange rate of a currency pair equivalent to 1/10,000th of the currency in which the rate is expressed. So in other words, when price moves 1/10,000th of $1 in the case of the British pound USD, we say price has traveled 1 pip. So it has to move 0.0001. That is how much change has to happen in price for you to say there has been a change in price equivalent to 1 pip. So if so price can move 2 pips, 3 pips, 10 pips, 20 pips, as you can imagine. So right here we saw that price was at 1.2656. Yes, 1.2656, but somewhere around 10 a.m. price was at 1.2590. So price had traveled many pips. So we're going to calculate exactly how many pips price had traveled downwards on account of this movement between 00 hours on the 14th to 10 hours on the 14th of December. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply subtract 1.2590 from 1.2656. So here we go, 1.2656 minus 1.2590. So price has moved 66 pips because this is 0.00001 times 66. Price has moved 66 pips in that situation. So there's something you have to understand about this. It is true that 1 pip is equivalent to a change in the exchange rate vertically, upward or downward. A change in the exchange rate of any currency pair equivalent to 1/10,000th, which is 0.0001 of the currency in which the rate is expressed. It is very true. But this is true when it comes to all other pairs except the Japanese yen pairs, because with the Japanese yen pairs, the Japanese yen is always the quoted currency, and so when it comes to the Japanese yen pairs, 1 pip is equivalent to a change in the rates of a currency pair that is equal to 1/100th of the Japanese yen. So a pip is a change in the exchange rate of a currency pair equivalent to 1/100th of the Japanese yen. So that's the distinction. When it comes to other pairs, when price moves just 0.001, which is 1/10,000th of the quoted pair, 1 pip has been traveled. But when it comes to the Japanese yen, price has to just move only 1/100th, and boom, we say price has moved 1 pip. So it's all about pips. You understand everything now that is needed for us to go into the real mathematical calculation. But just before that, you're going to understand, you're going to first be introduced to the concept. You know, when you're doing math, you understand the concept before you go into the numbers. So that's what is going to happen next. So some of you might have heard about the martingale system, and that is a system I'm going to show you. And before you say, oh, the martingale, you have to understand that many people consider this a killer system, and many, well, not many, although the numbers are increasing as the days pass, a few consider it a winner system. And now let me tell you this. The thing about the martingale is it reminds me of human history. When there was a time in our history when if you wanted to sink in the ocean, if you wanted to sink in water, there are 2 things that could guarantee your sinking: stones or metal. At that time in human history, nobody knew how to make, in fact, I don't know if they were even thinking about it, you know, how to make metal something that can help you float. I don't think they were thinking about it. We all knew, everyone knew that, okay, you can use metal for all kinds of things, but if you want to sink, then have a lot of metal on your body. But along history, somewhere along that timeline, someone discovered how you can actually turn something that should be a sinking device into a floating device. And today we have gigantic metal objects, metal vessels, carrying huge amounts of people and very humongous amounts of cargo, crisscrossing our seas, across our seas and our oceans around the world every single day, every single minute. In fact, the world depends on these metal ships for a huge amount of its international trade. So that's the same thing with the martingale system. When you don't know how to use it, it is something that will surely make you sink. But when you know how to turn it into a floating device, then it makes you float upon the deep oceans of the forex market. I don't want to overstress this this point I'm making here right now, but it feels very sweet to me actually, because you know, right now while people are floating, cargo is being moved around the world as we are speaking right now on ships. Metal can still make you sink, whereas people are depending, our trade and everything is dependent on these metal ships, right, carrying cargo. Metal still makes you sink. The only thing is that these metals have been crafted into powerful boats, stable boats that you can rely on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see how we can craft something stable out of the martingale system that will float you through your forex game. There are only 12 months in a year, and if you can be profitable every month in the year, then you are a winner and among the top 5 who come out profitable at the end of everything in the forex market. So I have actually come across 2 versions of the martingale system so far, and one is from Wikipedia, which doesn't seem as comprehensive as the other one that I found. It says a martingale is any of a class of betting strategies that originated from and were popular in 18th century France. The simplest of these strategies was designed for a game in which the gambler wins his stake if a coin comes up heads and loses it if the coin comes up tails. The strategy had the gambler double his bet after every loss, so that the first win would recover all previous losses plus win a profit equal to the original stake. Now, so that's the concept actually. and we better just talk about it right away. The idea is that when you have, let's say you're in a casino, because that's where it evolved from, the gambling houses, and you're betting on the toss of a coin. Instead of you to bet on heads now and on tails later, you just forget about all that. Choose one, choose heads, for example, and bet on heads only. The thing is, if you start with a $1 stake, if you lose, you double your stake and make it $2. If you lose, you double your stake and make it $4. What's going to happen is that eventually it must turn heads, and when it turns heads, because you're always doubling your stake, you're going to cover up all your losses plus what you would have won if you had won the first time. So that's it. And there are problems with this concept which you're going to see. These problems, of course, will not affect those who look at my or should not affect those who have my system. So the second version of the origins of the martingale, it speculates that the origin got its name from someone called John Martindale, who encouraged players to use the double-up betting system in order to be able to prosper from their losses whilst they played at his casino. It's also widely accepted that this betting system inherited its name from a distortion of John Martindale's last name, even though it remains unsolved, the actual origins of the name. And if you look at the name, the only difference between Martingale and Martindale is that Martingale has G in place of D in the name Martindale. So that's that. So the story goes on to say that over 100 years after the martingale system was created, there was somebody called Mr. Charles Wells, who successfully beat the casino when he applied the system to a game of roulette. You see, what he did was that he successfully beat the casino by breaking the bank 12 times within just 3 days in Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is in France, and it's a very reputable gambling city in France. Apparently, it has been a reputable gambling city before even many of our fathers were born. So, all of our fathers, by the way. So, he made a win of 1 million francs, which he surprisingly managed to generate from an initial amount of 4,000 francs. And the win was a very groundbreaking one within casino circles. In other words, it was sensational at the time. We're going to skip this slide, it's not too necessary. So now, this is the thing. This is the thing. We're getting deeper into the whole thing now. If you remember, when we looked at the charts, let me go back to the charts. You see that price never goes in one direction steadily. It goes in whatever direction it's going in, it goes there in a zigzag manner. For example, here it is going up, but it goes up, kind of flattens out, goes up, then goes down, then goes up, then kind of loses steam, goes up, loses steam, goes up, goes down, goes down, goes. That's just what it does all the time, all the time. So look at this again. You can see zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. It's going down, but it's going up and down, you know. So that is how price moves. And so when you are trading, the similarity between the gambling house and the forex market is that, let's say you're betting on, let's say when you're gambling, the similarity between gambling and the forex market is when you're betting, there are just two outcomes, right? Heads or tails, right? But in the forex market, it's the same thing. There are only two outcomes. Price may go up or it may go down. And if you're buying, you are betting on it going up. And if you're selling, you're betting on it going down. You get. So that's why it is very similar, and you can apply the martingale system to the forex market. The only thing is you must not apply it just as it is presented. Always double your money and all that stuff. You see, there's a way to do it that works. So this is the actual concept. We said we're going to choose only one position, and now let's assume we're choosing heads. Let's assume we're choosing buys, and we at this point we choose a buy. We buy here. Unfortunately for us, price goes down and we lose our money. We thought we were going to make money, but no, we lose the money. Price goes down. Instead of us to sell because we see that price has started going down, we don't sell. We still buy again. Just like what we explained. You go heads again. So we buy again. And instead of price going down as we wanted it to go down, it went up. Sorry, that's my mistake. Instead of price going up as we wanted it to go up, it went down. Of course, you could see the zigzag on the chart. It didn't go down all together, just all at once. It went up a little bit and we were happy. We thought it was going to make us profits, and all of a sudden, boom, down. We lost again. So we don't say, hey, we've lost when we took a buy position, you know, we lost, so let's take a sell. We don't do that. We buy again. And then when we buy, let's say in this case we bought here thinking price would go up, and sure enough it did just a little bit. It did just a little bit, and then unfortunately it went down. We buy again. It didn't even go up much. It went down. And this time when we buy, it goes all the way up here. By the time it gets up here, what really happens, and this is mathematical, is that every loss you have incurred, all the way from here down here, every time you were doubling up your stake, or every loss you incurred will be recovered in one move, plus whatever profit you would have made if this first trade was right. That's how it works. So let us dive right into the system, how it is done. First, I'm going to show you the basic way in which it is done, the simplistic approach, and you are going to spot by yourself a few things you don't like about it. It is profitable, but you're going to spot something you don't like about it. If you don't spot it, I'm going to spot it. I'm going to point it out to you. So here you have the trades. I've already put them out here. I've put the lot sizes that you trade when you enter these trades here. You know, you double your lot sizes, you know, and this is why we had to go through the lot size and the money implication associated with trading these lot sizes, because I've also fixed what you gain or what you lose in case you gain or you lose in any of these trades. So that's what I have done. So let's start from the beginning. Let's say you enter a first trade and you start with a small lot size because you want to be safe. You start with 0.01, which is 1 micro lot. And if you remember, we say that 1 micro lot represents a potential in profit or loss of 10 cents per pip. And with this spreadsheet, we are saying that in every trade you are targeting 10 pips of profit, and you have 10 pips of stop loss. And for those who don't know what a stop loss is, the stop loss value is the value that you fix on your trade, so that if price goes against you that number of pips, you exit the market whether you are there or not. The platform just exits you out of the market, so you can never lose more than that. That is what your stop loss value is, and it's represented in pips. So what you have here is 10 pips. The take profit is just the same thing, only it's in the profit direction. So the take profit is the same thing, but it's in the profit direction. So now you have profit targets of 10 pips and stop loss of 10 pips. So first trade, if your first trade was profitable, what are you going to get? You're going to have a net gain of $1 because you made $1 and you had no loss. The first time The first time you shot, boom, you scored. Price went in your direction. You have $1. But in case you said you're going to buy, you're going heads, and price didn't go in your direction, price went down instead. So your first trade, you lost. So it was in the second trade you made money. That means that, using an example, you bought here, you lost, but when you bought here, price actually went all the way up and you made money. What you're going to have is, your first trade, you've lost $1 because you were trading with 1 micro lot. Stop loss is 10 pips. You lost $1. But on this second trade, you're using 2 micro lots, and 2 micro lots represent, if you remember, 20 cents per pip. So 20 cents times 10 pips gives you $2. So guess what? You made a profit of $2, but from the previous trade you've lost $1. So your net gain is $1. But let us say that you've made your first trade, you lost. Second trade, you actually lost, and it was at the third trade that you made some money. Price actually went up and you made money. What you'll have in that situation is that here you will have doubled your lot size again, and you're trading 4 micro lots. 4 micro lots times 10 pips, which is 40 cents, which 4 micro lots represent in potential profits or loss, times 10 pips gives you $4. But the previous losses are $2 and $1, so that's $3. So your net gain is $1. By the way, I'm going to send you this very PDF in your email since you subscribe to see this video. If you subscribe to see this video, so that you can look at it yourself. But if you follow through, you find out that whatever you stake, when you keep on doubling your stake, your cumulative loss keeps on increasing, and I've calculated it right here. The cumulative loss, for example, the cumulative loss on this level is 3, here it is 7, here it is 15. So the cumulative loss keeps on increasing, right? You end up making a profit, but guess what your net gain is? What it remains $1 no matter what. So you see how undesirable this is. It means you stake so much of your money, as the trades progress, and guess what? You're making only $1. That's not a smart decision, because let's say you have a $1,000 account, right? By the time you are on the 11th trade, all your money is gone. You've lost all your money. And this brings us to the fundamental flaw of the martingale system. The flaw is this. Theoretically, we know for sure that if you toss a coin 10 times, you are supposed to have at least 5 times heads. But practically, we know that we do not know how many times you're going to have tails before you have heads. So in other words, we don't know how long of a losing streak you're going to have before you have that one win that balances things out. And guess what? We know you don't have an infinite amount of money. So it's possible you have nine tails before one head. It's possible. Anything is possible. And so you can easily lose your account. So those are the flaws with this. But I'm going to show you something better than this in an Excel spreadsheet that makes this a whole lot better, so that as you are increasing your stake, right here, your net gain keeps on increasing, so that if you trade 6 times, hey, you have a big amount of money here. your net gain commensurately increases with the amount of stake you have, and that's a much better and much more desirable approach. So what is the approach? We're going to make a little change, and it's a small change, but it results in a very nice improvement in the outcome. And the small change is this: whereas in the previous spreadsheet we had a profit target of 10 pips and a stop loss of 10 pips. Here we have just changed one thing. We have made the profit target to be 15 pips and the stop loss to be 10 pips, and it ends up in a very nice and big difference in profitable outcome. And I think in my mind this goes back to the butterfly effect, which if you're not familiar with the butterfly effect, simply come over to Wikipedia, this very link, and read about it. But I'll simply briefly say what the butterfly effect tries to explain or put forward. It's trying to say that little changes in the factors that determine a later outcome can result in huge differences in that later outcome. So minute, maybe minuscule differences in the factors that affect the outcome right now can result in huge, very big differences in the outcome later. And that's, in my opinion, is what is going on here. So let's take a look at it now. Only thing that's been changed is profit target. So our first trade, we have in the event that we make it in our first trade, we have a profit of $1.5, because instead of us targeting just 10 pips as profit target, this time we targeted 15 pips, and one micro lot represents 10 cents in potential profits or potential loss, and we multiply that 10 cents by the 15 pips of profit, and that gives us $1.5. And so we have no loss here in this scenario. But in the event that we had to take a second trade to make a profit, it means that we're going to lose our first trade, and we're going to lose $1 because one micro lot represents 10 cents in potential profit or potential loss, and our stop loss was 10 pips. So we say 10 times 10, it gives us 10 cents times 10 gives us $1. That's our potential, but that's our loss in this situation. However, we have doubled our lot size, and because we've doubled our lot size, one pip represents 20 cents in potential profit and potential loss. This is 2 micro lots, remember, and so we multiply 20 cents by 15, because one pip represents 20 cents in potential profits and potential loss. So 20 cents times 15 gives us $3 as opposed to 2, which we had here. And so what's our cumulative loss? Cumulative loss, hey, first loss $1, right? Cool. So $3 minus $1 gives us $2. That's our net gain. But let us say we have a different scenario where we lost these first 2 trades and we had to enter a third trade to make that profit. Hey, what it means now is that our cumulative loss is $1 for the first trade, $2 for the second trade, which makes us $3, right? So cumulative loss is $3 right here. But because we have doubled our lot size to 4 micro lots, it means we're making 40 cents per pip, and so we multiply 40 cents times 15. That gives us $6. So here we multiply, we subtract cumulative loss from our profit. Our net gain is $3. The same thing happens here. We multiply 80 cents in the event that we lost all these 3. We double our lot size again, so we're looking at 8 micro lots and 80 cents in potential profit per pip. and 80 cents in potential loss per pip. But now we make a profit here, so we say 80 cents times 15, that gives us $12. Our cumulative loss is 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is 7. So 12 minus 7 is 5. So we see that whereas in this scenario, whatever happens, no matter how we increase our lot size and no matter how much loss we are, how much cumulative loss we are accumulating, we keep on earning just one miserly dollar. But here, as the trades progress, if we have more trades, we keep on getting more and more. As a matter of fact, by the 10th trade, we're making $257. Now compare that with how much are you making here? $1, whatever. You see, so you see that it is so much better. You're making so much more. So this is very nice. You know, as a matter of fact, if this gets to the 12th trade, you're making $1,000. But don't just rejoice yet. These numbers look very good, but I'm going to show you other numbers that you might not have seen that should make you stop for a while. Like I said, you don't have to, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you don't have to rush to try and implement this. Let me draw the curtain a little wider so that you see more numbers that you might not have seen before. First of all, you see that simplistic approach that we looked at first, where you're earning just $1, whatever the case. Let me just thrash it completely. Let me thrash it. Now, let me draw the curtain a bit further. Let me just reveal a few numbers that were not there before. Now, if we look at how much of your account is lost along the way, you see that when you start first, on your first trade, you don't lose anything. The percentage drawdown on your account is 0 because you made profits on the first trade. But in the second scenario where you make profits on the second trade, hey, it's still small. Third trade, fourth trade, fifth trade, sixth trade, it's only 3%. Seventh trade, only 6%. About eighth trade is 12.7%. Ninth trade, 25%. 10th trade, 51%. So guess what? If it takes you 11 times before you earn, before you make a profit, anytime that happens, guess what? You've lost all of your account, because the percentage drawdown here is 102%, which translates to 1023. So your account is gone. Boom. Never mind the fact that, you know, it's only $1 you're earning here. So this is assuming you're starting with a $1,000 account. If you're starting with a $1,000 account, but if you have a $10,000 account, it's not so bad, because hey, it's very small amounts you're losing, you know, along the way. The cumulative loss translates into very small amounts percentage wise when it comes to the drawdown, and where you would have lost everything if you had only $10,000, you've lost only 10%. As a matter of fact, it takes up to 13 trades, which is not very well. It's possible, it happens. In fact, I've seen it happen many times. It takes up to 13 trades for you to lose up to 40% of your account. But guess what? In spite of all this you're staking and losing, you're losing all this to just eventually have a net profit of, guess what? $1. So it's just crap. The only reason I presented it to you is so that you understand the workings, and I think it has served that purpose. So let's go over to this modified one here, where you're going for 15 pips of profit and your stop loss is 10 pips, and it looks very good because, hey, on your here, I think that's your, let's count this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. On your 11th trade, you're making $530. 13% in net gain. On your 10th trade, you're making $257. Sorry, you're making $513. On your 11th trade, on your 10th trade, you're making like $257. It's very nice, you know. Here you're making $129. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. 9th trade, $129 net gain. So in other words, sometimes you may want it to proceed this far compared to this, $1 scenario. This is just crap. This is very good. But if you look closer, you find out that, hey, you were still suffering the same amount of percentage drawdown. So in other words, whereas on this 10th trade, I believe that's the 10th trade. Okay, that's the that's the 10th trade. You're making, say, $257 of profit, and you're happy about that. That is on a $1,000 account. You've lost 51% of your money in the process. Of course, when you make $257, you've gained everything back. You have no loss. This is just, the drawdown refers to the loss on the way to profit. You get, so it's not as if you end up with a 51% loss. It means that on the way to profit, your cumulative loss summed up to 51%. But guess what? Anytime this moves up to an 11th trade, if you had just $1,000 in your account to start with, you're going to lose all of your money, because your percentage drawdown at that point is 100%. And when your percentage drawdown is 100%, it means you've lost your account. You have nothing to trade again. You've lost it all. It's called a margin call. You see? So that's why it may look good, but hey, take a look at this. If you have just $1,000, you're still in possible forex mortal danger, because that's mortal danger for any forex account. So the only time it's better is when you have $10,000, because guess what? At this point, you're losing only 10% of your account. That's fine, and it's not as if you lose it. You just lose it on the way to making like 5% profit total. So this is the loss on the way to profit. You see, so it's fine. It's fine. The only thing is that, hey, by the time you get up to the 12th, 13th, 14th trade, guess what? You're losing 80% of your account. And any system that makes you lose 80% of your account is not a trading system. It's not something you can count on. It should be thrown away. It's possible for this to happen doing just this thing I have explained here. So that is why I say this is good, but you should not use this, because I don't use this myself. So if I don't use this, but you can see how you can tweak this thing and make profits, then what do I use? That's the question. What do I use? What I use is a highly advanced version of these things you've seen here. I would say a highly advanced version of this whole thing you see here. And this version keeps the account very safe and keeps on making profits, whatever the case. It takes into consideration account size and just everything that you're supposed to take into consideration to create that floating vessel that I talked about at the beginning. And going forward, I'm going to show you how I came about that system, and how I was talking to my fiancée, how I don't want to give anyone the system, but I've decided, okay, hey, look, let me teach people this for now. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I got to that part. I got to this system and why it works for me. It works not just because I know the math of it. There are a few things I had as an advantage that made these things work for me, and I'm going to break it down to you now.